Friday Night Lights to Friday Night Slights. Bus Bissinger, the acclaimed author of the book Friday Night Lights, the book which became a movie, a hit movie, is now having trouble reconciling the fact that he could not get a sit-down interview with Nick Foles, as it shows in the article in Philadelphia Magazine that recently came out earlier this week, criticizing Nick Foles' ability to potentially lead the Eagles to a Super Bowl. He basically wanted to set up an interview, at least several days if not a day. Once Nick Foles declined, citing the fact that he didn't want to separate himself from the team or appear above the team, a quality that few professional athletes have. But Bissinger took it upon himself just to interview people, whoever he could talk to. He later came back to Foles and said, just a couple hours, I'll meet you anywhere in the country. Foles just didn't want to do the story. Now, Foles is not a guy who shies away from reporters. He's given several sit-down interviews to local media, and he opened up about himself and his family, his new wife. Whatever they asked, he answered. It just right now, his nose is to the grindstone, and he's preparing to try to lead the Philadelphia Eagles to the next level. And Bissinger, who has interviewed the likes of Albert Pujols and LeBron James, is just, he thinks of himself as a large figure in himself, so he made the story about himself. He basically admits in between the line that he felt scorned and that he felt Nick Foles had an almost obligation to talk to him. Well, the Philadelphia fans were not happy. Anyone who lives in the area and listens to either WIP or The Fan 97.5 might have been privy to the fact that this was the main topic in Philadelphia yesterday. Mike Missinelli interviewed Bus Bissinger, who came on to defend himself and his article. When he was done, every caller, whether they were I'm not a former Michael Vick fan, I love him, but a guy who wanted Michael Vick to play quarterback for the Eagles, or whether they were Nick Foles people, defended Foles and ripped Bissinger for the obvious fact that he was just reaching for anything he could to criticize Foles, because there's really not much to go on. He has a small body of work and it was all positive. Now, he says that Foles, because his dad was rich and cashed out of a restaurant business, a restaurant chain, at over $50 million, that Foles won't have the hunger. He knows he has something to fall back on. Well, what about Eli Manning, Peyton Manning? What about Kobe Bryant? There have been a lot of rich kids who have had the hunger and desire to work hard. In fact, just the fact that this guy would rather sweat out in the Texas heat training for the Eagles than sit down and do an air-conditioned interview tells you what kind of hunger this kid has. So I was proud of the Philadelphia fans yesterday. They stepped up and ripped Bus Bissinger for this scathing, kind of petulant piece, self-aggrandizing, without actually saying anything about yourself, is all I could say about it. The Philadelphia Eagles quarterback Nick Foles, don't change. Just keep being yourself. You don't have to go to clubs. You don't have to make it rain to win the Super Bowl. I didn't see Joe Montana with a loud personality, so I don't think Nick Foles has to change for anybody, including Bus Bissinger. So there you have it. Bus Bissinger, he's starting a lot of buzz, but not the right kind. And the Eagles set to start training camp on Friday. This offense, which was lightning fast last year, is going to run at even a higher octane level this year. Book it.